welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'll be looking at my custom LEGO Transformers Power Master Optimus Prime. So here he is in truck mode. And as you can see, due to the trailer, this is probably one of my largest builds yet, and he barely fits in frame. So I'm going to look at each mode individually. So we're going to start off with the cab mode. So let's get the trailer out of here. So here is Optimus in his truck mode without the trailer. And spinning him round for 360, you can see he only has 4 wheels, just like the original Power Master Optimus Prime toy. And from the back you can also see how he will transform very similar to the old toy, as he has the windows on the back. And here you can also see that he has 2 wheels on this side as well. I've also included the smokestacks, which are accurate to the original toy. And here at the front I've included jumper plates as the details of the circles that are on his front bumper. And I've also decided to use gold headlights as they stand out more than the grey ones. So now I'm going to compare the LEGO version with the original Power Master Optimus Prime toy. And as you can see, he looks like an upscaled version of the original toy, except he doesn't have the split down the windshield, as this gives him a cleaner cab mode. And as you can see, I've tried to include the details such as the shape of the front grille, as well as the stripes along the side of the truck. I also decided to make the stripes white instead of silver, because I think this looks better. It's my preferred colour for the stripes. You can also see how I've tried to recreate the circle details using the jumper plates. And here at the front, you can see the shape of the grille better. And here at the sides you can see the placement of the 4 wheels is accurate to the original toy. And at the back, you can see his arms transform very similar, except they leave slightly bigger gap in the middle. I've also made it so you can fold down the smokestack. I did this because my original version was used and only has 1 smokestack, so now I can have 2 Optimus Primes with a broken smokestack. Turning him round to the side once again. You can see I didn't manage to include side windows, as I wanted to give him a clean look instead of adding more studs to the side. But while we're on the topic of comparing the original toy, we might as well compare the trailers as well. So let's get rid of this cab. And here we have the trailer, which is probably the biggest build on my channel. It's bigger than my original Armada Optimus Super mode. Comparing it with the original, you can see I managed to get the arm placement the same, as well as some of the stripe detailing. And standing them up, you can see the skeleton is very similar. And here at the side, you can see where the stripe is. And here at the back, you can also see where I managed to use this big panel to recreate the look of the original. But now it's time for some cab comparisons. So here he is yet again with the original, and you can see he is just slightly bigger. And here he is with a slightly custom Siege Optimus Prime. And here he is with the Studio Series Rise of the Beasts Scourge. And here he is with a recent pickup, the JP93 from the Jurassic Park 2-pack. And here he is with the McLaren F1 from the LEGO Speed Champions line. And here he is with the McLaren minifigure. So you can see he is actually close to minifigure scale. But getting those out of there, it is time for the transformation. Transformation is very simple, as it is very similar to the original toy. So first you have to fold down his feet. And now we can come to the front and fold down the entire cab section. And once this is done, we can get him standing. So now we can split the legs. And now we've got the legs, it's time we focus on the arms. So first we can unfold them from the side of the truck, just like the original toy. And before we finish up the arms, we can fold out his head. But first we have to spin round this panel. And now we can fold out his head just like the original toy. And for the final step, we can unfold the rest of the arms. This is a new step added, and it helps to clean up the robot mode and give him more proportional and articulated arms. So here's the smaller figure in its robot mode. And as you can see, I've tried to make him a more proportional robot mode, as well as giving him the proper articulation. So spinning him around to the side, you can see he's very flat, just like the original toy. And also like the toy, he has the entire cab just on his back. But I don't mind this look, as for the most part, he still allows for good articulation. And here you can also see I've managed to get the wheel placement correct. So bringing him in for a close-up, you can see I managed to get the grille as well as the stripes accurate to the robot mode, as well as the head, which is fairly similar. But now it's time for some comparisons. So bringing out the original toy again, here he is. You can see I've tried to recreate details such as the silver thighs as well as the white skirt piece. I've also included details such as the shape of the grille and the stripes continuing onto the robot mode. I've even added the blue forearms that were on the G1 toy. I've managed to get the wheel placement accurate as I have the wheels in the feet and the hips. And I've also included details such as the panel behind the head, as well as the hinges that are next to the windshield, as this is how the original toy transformed. And bringing in a more modern comparison, here he is with the custom Siege Optimus Prime. So even this small bot mode is still a leader class in scale. And here he is with the T-Rex. And here he is with Legacy Dragstrip. And here he is with the Studio Series Bumblebee movie Ironhide. And bringing out another Speed Champion set, here's the McLaren as well as a minifigure. But getting those out of here, now it's time for the small robot's articulation. Fortunately, due to the transformation, there is nothing at the head, but his arms can do a full 360, and they can also go slightly out to the side. And he has a 90-degree elbow joint, which is on a ball joint. This allows for some good movement in the arms. Unfortunately, due to the transformation, he doesn't have a waist joint, and because of the wheels, he can only get his legs slightly out to the side. But he can move them all the way forward, as well as a 90-degree knee bend. So that is it for his articulation. Now it's time for the base mode. So getting the trailer back in here, we can start by putting the trailer upright, as this will help us fold down the panels on the side of the legs. So we just take the trailer panels and fold them onto the shins. And now we can make him do the splits. Once this is done, we can start unfolding the arms. So for the base mode, I like to take them and just point them up to the sky, as this gives him like a look that he has towers. But now we can spin him around for a 180. And here, we can take this big panel and fold it down, as this will reveal some window detailing, as well as an Autobot symbol. And that is the base mode done. So here it is with the ramp and all. I've included details such as the windows, the Autobot badge, and this ramp at the front, as well as the arms sticking up. So here he is next to the original, or part of the original at least. And as you can see, I've tried to recreate the ramp look, as well as the window shape. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the grey panels to fold out, as this is because I wanted stability in the robot mode, as this thing does weigh quite a lot, and I didn't want him to fall over. But I did include details such as the shapes of the windows, as well as the arms sticking up. And I also included the Autobot badge and some of the colours that are seen on the front ramp. And this base mode is quite large, so it actually can be used for a base for some Legends figures. But the reason I say part of the original figure is because unfortunately mine was used, and the person before me has somehow snapped the leg off as the ratchets were so tight. This means that it can't really stay in base mode. But getting back to the Lego version, it is time for the super mode, which is easiest if we start from the trailer. So we just complete the same steps as we did going into base mode, where we fold down these panels. And now we can fold around the strut that is used to connect the trailer to the truck, and this will help secure the plate on his back. And now we can also fold down his arms. And once this is all done, we can get the smaller Optimus figure ready, which is easiest if we start from the truck mode. So here he is in truck mode, and we just take the knees and bend them backwards and compress his legs onto his back. This is just like the original toy, and once it's done you should have this cube-like Optimus. And he doesn't actually lock into the trailer, but due to the rubber tires he stays there quite securely. So we can just take the trailer apart and slot the cube Optimus into the chest. And for the final touch we can take out the brick-built head that I have. And here is Optimus in his super mode. And even though his proportions are quite strange, I am happy with this build, as is my largest build yet. And even though some details are slightly off, such as the width of the arms and the width of the thighs, this does not bother me too much, as his sheer scale is very impressive. I want to do a more detailed head, but unfortunately, after getting the legs done, I was very short on these light blue pieces. So this head is the best I could do. And speaking of the legs, they're very chunky, and they use these ratchet joints to hold them up. The feet also have a very flat base, so that he does not fall over. And I've also included details such as his other windows on the chest, although this being the trailer, who knows where these windows came from. But spinning him round to the side, you get to see how chunky this guy is, as his legs are the entire height of the trailer, and the back also just has the flat panel just like the original toy. And at the side you can see his arms are probably too far forward, but this is just to help with the trailer and base mode. But just to give you the sense of scale, it's time for some comparisons. So here he is with the original figure in his base robot mode, as well as the Voyager Siege Optimus Prime, and you can see he is almost double the height of the Voyager. But getting the original into its super mode, you can see he dwarfs it. And comparing these two real quick, you can see I managed to accurately recreate details such as the side windows and the giant white skirt piece with this red square in the middle. As you can see, my original figure only has a Creo head, as this did not include any accessories. I've also included details such as the wheel placement on the legs, as well as these folded up panels that are on the side of the legs, as the trailer transforms exactly the same as the original toy. By getting Siege Optimus out of here, let's compare these guys. So spinning them round to the side, you can see how chunky they both are. And you can also see where the panel placement is. And here at the back you can see how accurate I've managed to get him. I even included the blue strut that is used to connect him to the truck. And here at the side you can see how the original also has the arms and head slightly far forward. And now for some other comparisons, here he is with the Deluxe Legacy Drag Strip, who he absolutely dwarfs. Here he is with the T-Rex. And here he is with the Voyager Studio Series Revenge of the Fallen Megatron. And to compare it to something else big, here is my guinea pig, who for some reason looks cropped in, although they did just stand very still for one photo. But getting her out of there, now it's time to end the video. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, as this is my largest project yet. And don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you want to see weekly LEGO Transformers. And also check out my second channel, where I'll be doing a ranking of every figure that I got this year. So I hope everyone has a happy new year, and goodbye. welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'll be reviewing my custom LEGO Transformers Laser Prime, or G2 Prime. But for this review, I'm going to refer to him as G2 Prime. So starting off in the tanker mode, you can see I've managed to capture the general proportions of the truck. And even the trailer looks quite good in my opinion, as even with the limited pieces, I've managed to achieve quite a rounded look. And obviously this figure is based on the legacy version of him. However, the transformation does not share very much similarities with that. I mainly just based it on the appearance of the figure in both modes. But before I get fully in depth, please take a moment to like, comment and subscribe if you want to see a weekly LEGO Transformers. And just to show you the scale of this build, here is a side-on view, and you can see he almost takes up the entire frame, as this is quite a large build. However, I'll do some more size comparisons later. So here's the trailer on its own, and unfortunately I couldn't add a kickstand to it due to the way it transforms into the battle station. But here from the back you can see I've added some taillights as well as the rear bumper, and I've tried to keep the rounded shape on the back. I've also added some of the wheel fenders from some of the city cars. And here at the front I've also tried to keep the rounded aesthetic using these rounded 3x3 tiles. For a general sense of scale, here he is with the G2 guard. So you can see this is quite a large and long trailer. They even dwarfs guard here, even though he's quite a large deluxe. And you can see it is also quite long here. But before I get the trailer transformed, we might as well take a quick look at the truck mode. And so here's the G2 Prime in truck mode. And this is probably one of my most consistent truck modes, as it doesn't have very many obvious robot mode parts, except from part of the legs sticking out. And the rest of the robot does hide away pretty well. And even his hands, even though they are visible, they are black, so it does blend into the side. And from the back it does look quite clean, except from the feet, which do stick out slightly, but most versions of Optimus do this anyway. And here at the front I do think the grille looks quite good, however you can see some elements where the transformation will be. But for some comparisons, here's with the Legacy G2 guard. So you can see he is quite a sizable truck. And here's with Legacy Leadfoot, which I do think these scale quite well. I also think he scales quite well with Speed Champion sets as well as minifigures, and he probably is around minifigure scale. However, he might be still slightly too small. And here you can see yet again just how long the truck is. However, I do think the trailer is too small compared to next to a Speed Champion's car. But speaking of the trailer, let's get it transformed into the battle station. And I honestly like this transformation as you can't really tell where any of the joints are. To start off with, we need to come to the back, and we take the rear trailer door, and we hinge it upwards. And as you can see, it is on these two hinges at the top. And once this is unfolded, it'll give us the clearance to untab these little pegs. So they will just unstud from the base of the trailer. And once this is done, we're ready to fold up the base of the trailer, as it is now untabbed. So on a series of hinges, we just take it and fold it up, as there's a double hinge joint in the middle, as well as one at the base of the trailer, and it should compact into a shape similar to this. Now coming to the sides of the trailer, we just take them and use the double hinges to unfold them, and they should be flat against the ground. And while we're here, we can also take the previously used hinges that tabbed into the trailer, and we can just fold them down flush against the ground. And now we can finish off by unfolding the turret. So if we come to the side, it will ratchet up from the bottom first. And once this is done, we can use the other ratchet joint to flatten it out. And from here, all we need to do is use that ratchet to rotate the turret a full 180-degree rotation. And now we have the battle station. And to be honest, even though this battle station was the afterthought of the robot mode, it still looks quite good in my opinion, and I really like the red turret, and it can also be used to blast using these Marvel Legends blast effects. And due to the space at the front, it can also hold cars, but I do think the smaller Speed Champions cars work a little better. And obviously it can also hold deluxe class car bots, so here he is with the Last Night Drift. And you can see the blue thing there, which is going to be the robot mode sword, but I'll leave that there for now. The only downside to this is the back, as it is slightly untidy, but this is because I wanted to have a secure wheel assembly, so the trailer would actually attach properly and could roll. So that's it for the battle station. Now it's on to the robot mode transformation. So to start off with, we take the middle section of the front bumper and we just hinge it up using the hinge joint there. And once this is done, we can now spin him round to the side, where the gas tanks will unfold on these ball joints. So we can just unfold them so they're sticking out to the side. And then we can take these hinge joints, which will be used to fold out the rest of his arm, so it should look something like this. And once it's all unfolded, we'll repeat this on the other side. So we just take the gas tank and unfold it using the ball joint. And then we can straighten out the rest of the arm. And once this is done, we can go back to the front of the grille. Here, we'll now split the two sides away from the middle, as they do tab into a brick in the middle. And once this is done, we can take that middle section, and it will compress against the windshield for now. And once this is done, we can take the windshield as well as the top of the cab, and we can hinge it up the way. And speaking of the windows, we can now get ready to move the side windows out of the way. So we just take it by using this hinge and we just swing it up the way. And once this is done, we can repeat this process on the other side, as doing this will give the arms clearance to fold out. So we just take the hinge and swing it up the way. Once this is done, we can come to this middle section of the back of the roof and we just poke it through the hole, as it is on a series of hinges, and this will be useful for securing everything later. And now we can take this joint at the waist and unfold it, and now the legs should be straight out. And now coming to the front again, we can take this double hinge and we can move the whole front section, as this will be in place for the shoulder. And obviously we can go repeat this process on the other side. And once this is all done, it's time to tidy up the arms. So we start by taking the gas tank and we just point this to the ground. We can do this using the wrist rotation. And once this is done, we can use that ball joint to straighten it on the arm. And now, since the windows are out the way, we can take the hinge and this will fold the arms into place, and it will compress along the side of the body. We can now repeat all these steps on the other side. So we just take the wrist rotation and spin it around so the wrists are orientated properly. And now using that ball joint, we can fold the gas can up on the back of the arm. And now using the hinge, we can fold the arm to the side. And now it's in the proper configuration. And we can also fold down the window. Now it's time to get the backpack sorted. So first we can take this red section and using one of the half pin connections we can swivel it around. And once this is done, using that stud there, we can rotate round this 1x2 plate, as this will connect the backpack together later. But first, getting the smokestacks out of the way, using a combination of this hinge joint as well as the rotation, we can just spin them around. And we can also repeat this on the other side, as this will compress them into the back and make it look cleaner so they will not be sticking out. So we can just rotate this other one around. And now we can come back to this red piece, and this will fold through the hole that you can see on screen. So using a series of hinges as well as the windshield hinge, we can fold this and it will stick out the back now. And once this is done, we can take those hinges from earlier and move them out of the way. We can also hinge that section down, and these two pieces will now tab together. And even though it doesn't seem like a good connection, this actually secures the backpack and frees it from moving. So now coming to the feet, we just take the hinges on the toes and we can fold them out first. And now we can do the same on the ankles, making sure the feet are all straightened up. And once this is done, it's time to get them standing up, but first we need to separate the legs, as they are tabbed together. So we can just untab them and use the ball joints at the hips. And now we can get them standing up. But it's not time for the robot yet, as the final steps are taking these hip skirt pieces and swiveling them around. And now we can use those hinges and compress it, and this will form the hip skirt. And after a slightly long and complex transformation, we have G2 Prime. So there he is in his robot mode, and this is probably one of my most accurate builds that I've ever done. And giving him the sword from earlier, he looks even better. And considering he has decent articulation, and in a combination with this sword, you can get him into some cool poses. And bringing in the turret from earlier, you can really make this one of the most epic builds I've ever done. So now you can have him blasting away the Decepticons. But just to show you how large this guy is, I can compare him to other figures in my collection. So here he is with a Siege Optimus Prime. So you can see this guy definitely dwarfs him, which means he would also dwarf the Legacy Leader class, as it is around head height to the Siege. And comparing him to a slightly older figure, here he is with Titan's Return Broadside. For a Studio Series figure, here he is with a Jeep Bumblebee. And here he is with a Flying Insecticon, as this is kickback on a custom Legos display stand I'll be using to help rig up the figures in my future animations. And here he is with a Speed Champions car as well as a Lego minifigure, and you can see he absolutely dwarfs the minifigure. And here he is compared to the trailer in its battle station mode. Now, since this video is already long enough, I will not be covering the articulation, but I won't skip it entirely, because next week I'm going to be covering a variant of this mold, because I'm going to be doing a Toxitron. So to give you a sneak peek of that, here he is. So in next week's video, I'm going to go into some more details about the mold, especially in the robot mode, as I did cover quite a lot of truck mode details here. So subscribe if you want to see that video, as I will go into the articulation, as well as some general detail about the robot mode. And it will also be in this cool new green color scheme, which I do prefer over the original Laser Prime or G2 Prime. But anyways, I hope everyone has a great day, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And I'll see everybody next week for another LEGO Transformer. So anyways, have a great day. Hello and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we'll be reviewing my custom LEGO Transformers Optimus Prime. Now you may notice I've already done this video before, however that was back in my old video format when all the videos were shorter and only had music instead of commentary. So over this next week, I'm going to be revisiting some of the old videos and redoing them for my newer viewers and making the videos more entertaining. So here in truck mode you can see he does feature the Dark on the Moon trailer, as this is the Dark on the Moon version. And here he is, and you can see this truck mode is quite big. However, it is slightly messy at the front cab section, as these grey pieces I could not find in blue, so they do stick out a bit. I also think the smokestacks could have been slightly longer, as they don't stick up too far compared to the actual movie design. And behind the front wheel rim is slightly messy, as well as the back wheel rim not being so flush against the wheels as I would have liked. But here it is compared to the old leader class figure from the first movie, as this is what I based the transformation on. And this figure is quite large, and it also has rubber tires, which I quite like. And even though my version has a trailer, you'll see the transformation is still inspired by this original toy. Now I'll be covering the trailer later, so we better get rid of that, so I can cover the truck mode. And here it is. And unfortunately I do think the details are slightly lacking, and the front end is quite boxy and does not feature the flames. However, I think that's excusable at this scale, as the flame details are quite hard to do. Now, spinning him around for the 360, you can see here at the side how it is kind of messy, and the truck proportions are not the greatest. And here at the back, you can see the back end is slightly hollow, but this is for the transformation, but still does not look too good. This is because I wanted to keep the legs less bulky than the original figure. And obviously the other side is just the same, with all the gaps and all. And at the front you can see it, unfortunately one of the smokestacks has come unaligned. And in my opinion, the front bumper is way too big for this truck, and the grille is not large enough. But I did manage to capture the floating headlights. Now it's time for the comparisons. So here he is. And here he is compared with the original 2007 Leader Class figure, Deluxe Class 2007 Jazz, the Siege Optimus Prime, and an original Power Master Optimus Prime. And you can see this guy is quite a large truck, but still not as big as the old Leader Class scale. Now it's time for his transformation. And to start off with, we're going to take these two roof panels, and using the grey hinge there, we'll just fold them out to the side. And now we can move this smokestack slightly up, just to get clearance for later steps. Next we can come to the back, and here we can take the fender sections and split them half in the middle, and fold them to compress them. Now coming to the front, we can split the grille. Once this is done, we can come to the side of the truck, where we'll take the arms and fold them forward, as they're on these ball joints. And now, using those same ball joints, we can position the arms in the correct area, just by moving the ball joints forward. Now coming to the side, using a series of double hinges, we can fold the windshield section as well as the arms onto the torso. Now we can take the arms and fold them up slightly. Now at the back we can take the fender sections and slide them through these gaps. Now, using these hinge pieces, we can take the fenders and straighten them back out to their vehicle mode state. And using the ball joints and hinge joints, we can straighten out the smokestacks that are along the back. Once this is all done, we can come to the side. Here, we're going to use the ratchet joints in the hips, and these will be used to straighten the legs. I use ratchet joints so that he is stable, because he is quite top heavy. So there are the legs straightened out. Now we can come to the back of the legs, as this is where the head is, as it is on this long armature, which I don't like very much, but is the only way I could fit it into the transformation. So now you can take this piece and, using the series of hinges, fold it up and tab it into the back. And while we're at this, we may as well rotate around the head so it's facing the correct direction. And now coming to the legs, we can take these wheels, and they're on a double hinge, and they will collapse onto the thighs so they're in the correct robot mode configuration. So there they are, collapsed against the thighs. And now we can come to the bottom of the legs. So first we'll take the ratchet joint at the knees, and we can rotate this around so the front of the cab is facing the back of the legs. Once we're here, we can take these foot pieces and we can just rotate them down on the hinge, as well as swivel them at this single stud connection, as this will form his toes. This should look something like this, as that is how his feet are formed. And now we can take the wheel arches and rotate them around on this ball joint. And this is them in the robot mode configuration. And obviously the other leg is the same, so I may as well just speed that up. And so there he is in his robot mode. And working our way up, we may as well start at the feet. Unfortunately, there is some hollow parts in the shins. However, these foot builds are quite stable, as they are the front of the grills, so they're nice and flat. And working our way up, here he is with the Dark the Moon chest. And unfortunately, the scale, I couldn't do the doors on the side. However, if I was to attempt this design again, I'm sure I could figure out a solution. And here's his head, which unfortunately lacks quite a lot of detail. However, I do think it looks alright on this model, as this is one of my older builds. And moving around to the other side, you can see here in the middle that he does have a slight gap, which I don't think looks terrible. However, it is slightly noticeable. But I do think the middle chest detail is quite good where the abs are, even if these sections do stick out slightly too far for my liking. And unfortunately, you can't really see the smokestacks that are supposed to be poking over the shoulders, and he also does not have the shoulder stacks. I also think the legs are slightly too long, and it makes the proportions look slightly odd. However, like I said, this is one of my older builds, and I will definitely be attempting this design again in the future. And here he is from the side, which I don't think looks terrible as his backpack's not too big, but it does look like he's leaning backwards slightly. But for the most part, it doesn't look too bad. Here at the back though, I do think the back of his legs are way too flat, and they just don't look very good. And the backpack is not very movie accurate compared to the on-screen model. But here at the front, he does look alright for being one of my earlier builds. I do think my Evasion Mode Optimus does look better than this guy. So, onto the comparisons. So here he is with the G1 Power Master Prime, as well as Siege Optimus, the 2007 Jazz, and the Leader Prime, which he is based on. And here you can see some similarities in their design. However, obviously mine is the Dark the Moon version, compared to the first movie. And I do think the wheel placement here does work quite well. Unfortunately, in my older videos, I didn't include articulation, but you can see the shoulders and elbows, he has ball joints, and the wrists can hinge up and down. His head can also swivel, look up, and look down. And the legs can kick all the way forward as well as out to the sides, and the knees have a 90-degree knee bend. And that is it for the articulation. So now onto the trailer, which here you can see, you can just remove the flight deck. And here you can see the trailer unfold into the flight ring, which in the movie is where he stores all his weapons. And here is the jetpack, which just unfolds from the trailer section we removed. So here he is with the jetpack. So I'll take a closer look at the jetpack later. But here he is with the trailer ring. And in my opinion, the scale here is quite good, but I do think Prime may be slightly too tall, compared to where he is in the movie, where he can run through the ring. I also did not manage to include the side sections of the ring. But putting the jetpack back on, here he is. So, you can see here with the jetpack that it does tabs just into the back, but it's not quite accurate to the movie, as these thrusters are not the same shape and the wings are also slightly smaller than they were in the movie. However, due to the limited grey pieces I had at the time, I think it turned out quite good. So, spinning him around with flight tech, you can see here at the side that you do have to lean him slightly forward, or else he'll fall over. I also think I could have done the jetpack better, as it does not sit flush with the back, it does stick out slightly. It also lacks quite a lot of detail due to the fact that it is the top of the trailer, so it has to be flat. But I did include another weapon, which is his Energon axe from the movie. So here is that Energon axe, and I do think the shaping here is quite good. So, using the studs there, you can just plug it into his hand. So here he is, with the axe. So that is how you plug it in. It just tabs into the side of his hand, which does look slightly odd as he is not holding it properly, but it's the best solution I could come up with. And so there he is, with the flight tech and all, and here he is with the trailer ring. So that is it for my review. I hope everybody enjoyed this video, and do remember this is one of my older builds and I have improved since. But I do think re-reviewing these old figures is quite useful, as it adds commentary to the videos and gives you more of an insight into how they're built. So don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you want to see more stop motion videos, as well as Lego Transformers every week. So I'll see you all next week, and have a great day. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I will be reviewing my custom Lego Nemesis Prime. This is a completely unique design and does not share anything with my Lego Optimus. So starting off here in truck mode, you can see I've gone for red windows as this makes him stand out compared to Optimus's blue windows. And due to the transformation, the front grille as well as the headlights are all very clean as they're on one big flat panel. So spinning him around for a 360, you can see there is a lot more blue on the back of the truck. This is because I wanted to take some colours off the RID Scourge design, so that's why I've included this cyan colour at the back. This colour will feature a more prominent role in robot mode though. You can also see here that the side of the truck is fairly clean. Spinning him around again, you can see I managed to include details such as the taillights as well as smokestacks on the back of the truck. But unfortunately, there is a slight hollow space at the back. And spinning him around again, you can see this side is the same as the other. So spinning him back round to the front, you can see I've included details such as the headlights as well as front bumper and grille. And here is the top. You can see here that unfortunately he is slightly hollow from a top view, but for the most part he looks pretty clean in truck mode. And here's the bottom, which is very clean. So now it's time to bring in some comparisons. So here he is with Siege Voyager class Optimus Prime. And here he is with G1 Power Master Prime. Here he is with 86 Blur. And finally, here he is with Wild Rider. So now it's time for the transformation. So starting off here at the side, you can pull away the arms and lift them up. And you can repeat this step for the other side. So coming to the front, you can now fold in the side of the truck panels, filling out his arms. Now we can fold up his hands. And finally, we can flip up his head. Now coming to the side again, we can fold up the wheels, giving us clearance for the next step. Now we can fold down the grille and headlights assembly. This will give us clearance to rotate round his entire torso. And now coming to the back, we can fold down and rotate his wheels, filling out his torso. Now we can rotate up and split apart the headlights from the grille. Now coming to the truck bed, we can split it in half to form the legs. Once this is done, we can take the taillight assembly as well as the top of the truck bed to form his feet. And coming to the side, we can fold down his hip section. Now we can flip up the panels on his feet. And for the final step, we can fold down his arms. And now the transformation is complete. So here he is in robot mode. And spinning him around for a 360, you can see from the side he is very clean and does not have any backpack kibble. And spinning him to the back, you can see he does not have any kibble, and this is where the grille and headlights end up in robot mode. And spinning him round once again, you can see I've made the heels extra long to give him good stability for posing. And spinning him round once again, you can see this is a faithful G1 Optimus design done in the Nemesis Prime colour scheme. So bringing him in for a closer look, you can see I've used a transparent piece for the red eyes. I've also managed to angle the windshield slightly, giving him a more dynamic look. And I've recreated the head crest that the G1 Optimus design is known for. So now it's time for some comparisons. So here Nemesis Prime is with CG Optimus Prime, as well as G1 Power Master Prime. And here he is with Wild Rider. And here he is with my previous LEGO character, Studio Series Starscream. And here he is with Studio Series Revenge of the Fallen Megatron. Now it's time for his accessories. I've included a shattered glass inspired broken windshield, as well as an Energon axe. The Energon axe is inspired by Optimus Prime's iconic weapon. So to install the shattered glass windshield, all you have to do is remove the non-battle damaged one. This can be done on either side. And this can be easily replaced by the battle damaged one. So bringing him in for a close-up on the battle damaged windshield. You can see I've used some cheese float pieces as well as a clip joint to emulate a battle damaged look. And of course this look was based on the Transformers Shattered Glass Optimus Prime because he has a crack in one of his windshields. As for the axe, you can just simply peg it into his hand. And of course this axe is emulating the Energon axe that Optimus Prime is known for. But removing the axe is now time for articulation. So starting off at the head, it can rotate a full 360 degrees. And the arms can also achieve a full rotation. And they can go around 45 degrees out to the side. He has a full bicep swivel, allowing for 360 degree rotation. And he features a just under 90 degree double elbow joint. And that is it for the upper body, so now it's time for the legs. he can achieve a full splits as the legs can move all the way out, and he can kick all the way back and all the way forward, allowing for the front splits. And he has a 90-degree knee bend, and his feet include an ankle rocker joint, and they can spin the full 360 degrees because they're on ball joints. So that was it for the articulation segment. All these joints help him get into good dynamic poses, as well as his large heels make him very easy to balance. This makes him fun to pose, and he is one of my favourite LEGO Transformers that I have made. So that was it for my review of my custom LEGO Transformers Nemesis Prime. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and please remember to like, comment and subscribe for more LEGO Transformers. So anyways, have a great day, and I'll see you for another video next week. Hello and welcome back to another video. In today's video I'll be reviewing my custom LEGO Transformers Evasion Mode Optimus Prime. Here is Optimus Prime in his truck mode. And as you can see, he has a mismatch of colours just like in the movie. This is to make him look like he is rusty. And I've also included details such as the rounded headlights as well as the big bumper at the front of the truck. So spinning him around, you can see I've tried to recreate his look in the movie by adding different colours as well as the faded red. And I've also included details such as the side windows. However, I was not able to add smokestacks due to the way he transforms. So spinning him around to the back, you can see he is slightly hollow at the back of the truck. This is to help with the transformation and give everything clearance. I've also included details such as the fenders on top of the wheels. And you can see he has still got all the mismatched colours as seen in the movie. And spinning him around once again, you can see this side is completely different and features all different colours. And he includes some beige to show that he is rusted. And spinning him around to the front, you can see I've used more of this dark red to emulate a destroyed look. But now it's time for some size comparisons. So here he is with Siege Optimus Prime. And as you can see, he is around a leader class in scale. And here he is with Legacy Wreckers Leadfoot. Here he is with Studio Series Jeep Bumblebee. And here he is with a Speed Champion set, the Lamborghini Countach. And here he is with another Speed Champion set, the McLaren F1. And here he is with a minifigure. And you can see he doesn't actually scale that badly with minifigures. But now it's time for the transformation, and he's probably one of my most complicated LEGO Transformers yet. So to start off with, we're going to have to spin him round to the back. We can then untab his legs and split them apart. Once this is done, we can rotate up the feet slightly. This will give us clearance to rotate up these 1x2 tiles. Once this is done, we can rotate down the rest of the leg, including the feet. And now flipping him on his side, we can continue folding through the leg. Once this is done, this will give us clearance to fold through those 1x2 plates, and then they can tab into the back of the legs. This will secure his legs. And flipping him over, we can now finish up the legs. We start by untabbing the first set of wheels, and we can rotate them up to the thighs. Then we can finish by flipping around his knee pads. And for the final step of the legs, we can unfold the front set of wheels and attach them to his thigh. And now coming to the front, we can start by opening up the top of the cab. These will become his shoulder pads. We can now unfold the sides of the cabs, as this will form his chest and arms. This will give us clearance to fold down the entire torso. Now we can come to the front of the cab again. We can start by opening up this headlight section as well as the front bumper. Now we can fold down these panel sections. And now we can rotate around the legs. Now we can start making up the torso. To start with, we have to fold down the front bumper. We can then fold back the entire front of the cab and hide it away in his chest. And now we can fold the sides of the truck into place. This will form his arms and his chest. And now we can recombine the grille. We start off by taking the left section and moving it into place, and we can use the right section to cover it up. And now we can fold the rest of his chest, windows and torso into place. And we can also angle the pieces above the grille. And now we can fold down the head. And we can also fold down and rotate the arms, as well as unfolding the forearm pieces. And we can take the remainder of the arms and fold them into the side. And we can also fold down the shoulder panels, which were once the top of the truck. And now coming to the back, we can unfold these panels that are sticking out the back. And we can also fold up the front bumper, securing the panels in place. And now we can fold up these small panels to fill in the rest of his chest. And now we can rotate him round to the front for the final step. The final step is we split apart the front windshield, giving him a movie-accurate look. And that is us done with the transformation. So here Optimus is in his robot mode. And I've tried to use many different colours that can emulate a rusted look. I've also included colours such as the faded red, brown, and a darker blue, as well as beige, to create a battle-damaged look. And I've also included details such as the doors on his chest. And I managed to get all the wheels in the accurate spots. But spinning him round to the side, you can see he is quite narrow, and the wheels do stick out a bit. But spinning him round to the back, you can see it all folds up nicely. And this side is the same, just slightly different colours. And I'm quite happy with how the chest proportions look. But now it's time for some comparisons. So here he is with Siege Optimus Prime, and he is around an old leader class in scale. And here he is with a new pickup, Studio Series Scourge. And here he is with Revenge of the Fallen Studio Series Megatron. And here he is with Deluxe Class Studio Series Bumblebee Movie Ironhide. So that is it for all the comparisons. So I hope you all enjoyed my review of my custom LEGO Transformers Evasion Mode Optimus Prime. And don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more LEGO Transformers every week. And don't forget to go check out my second channel, which I will be posting on soon. So anyways, have a great day, and goodbye. In today's video, I will be reviewing my custom LEGO Transformers Rise of the Beasts Optimus Prime. But before that, please remember to like, comment and subscribe for weekly LEGO Transformers. Here is Optimus in his truck mode. As you can see, I've recreated his bull bar and sun visor as seen in the movie. I've also tried to recreate his headlights behind the bull bar using these gold tiles. Unfortunately, I do think the gas tanks were a little small for a truck this size. And bringing in some comparisons, here is with the Speed Champions McLaren F1 and Legacy Guard. who is a repaint of Earthrise Ironhide. As you can see, the truck is quite small compared to other figures and LEGO Speed Champion sets. Unfortunately, this truck does not actually transform, as this model was originally going to be used for the recreation of the final battle scene using stop motion. However, I've decided to discontinue this project, as it was not turning out the way I had hoped. I may revisit in the future using other LEGO models. But for now, I've only recreated the first minute of the final battle, and you can check this out on my channel. So now it's time to bring in the robot. This model is focused on articulation, as it is very good for stop motion. I've tried to accurately recreate the screen model as closely as possible, as I do not have to worry about the limits of transformation with this model. This means the model is highly detailed and very well articulated. It's also extremely movie accurate, with details such as the kneecap lights and the grille in the torso recreated in LEGO. It also has no kibble due to the fact that he does not transform, making him very easy to pose. Bringing in Optimus for a closer look, you can see I've managed to recreate parts such as the sun visor and grille inside the chest in this LEGO robot. I tried to keep many vehicle elements and robot elements the same. This allows him to seamlessly transform in stop motion by using interchangeable parts. And I've included details such as the slimmed down smokestacks in robot mode, giving him a more accurate look. And bringing the head sculpt in closer, you can see I've managed to recreate the head by using a cheese slope piece and 2 flat tiles. So now it's time to show off his articulation. So starting at the head, this can do a 360-degree rotation, however there is no up or down movement. His arms can do a full 360-degree rotation. They also have just under 90 degrees of movement, swinging out to the side. He has a 90-degree elbow bend, along with a bicep and elbow swivel. Instead of having a waist swivel, his whole upper torso can fully rotate 360 degrees, allowing for fluent movement when animating. His torso also includes a rocker joint to swing side to side. This same joint can be used for a full ab crunch. Coming to the legs, he can kick forward and back around 80 degrees. He also features a 90-degree knee bend as well as articulated knee pads. His legs can only do a half splits though, but he does have 90 degrees of ankle tilt. And finally, he has below the knee and ankle rotation for a full 360 degrees. For his accessories, I've decided to build one of his swords that he uses in the final battle. This sword can be tabbed into the side of his arm, making it appear that it is transformed out of his arm. And here's Optimus Prime with his sword. So for one final time, I will bring in the truck to compare them. So this is my review for my LEGO Transformers Rise of the Beasts Optimus Prime. But before you go, I'd like to show you the Bumblebee that I also had planned to use in my final battle stop motion. However, I will not be doing a full review of it, so I decided to show you guys here. This Bumblebee has accurate details to the movie, such as the knee pads, door rings, and the front of the chest. He also features a lot of articulation, just like Optimus. His articulation includes a 360-degree head swivel. He also has arms that do 180-degree elbows, thanks to the use of these hinge joints. The rest of his articulation is very similar to Optimus's. So that is a short review for my Rise of the Beast Bumblebee mock that I've made. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this review for my LEGO Transformers Rise of the Beasts Optimus Prime, and the bonus review for Bumblebee. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope everyone enjoyed the new intro that I've made. So anyways, goodbye.